The Central Archives loomed like a futuristic cathedral in the heart of New Geneva. Jackson Ward, Earth Federation's leading archivist, loved this place not just for the vast collections of knowledge housed within its walls, but for the quiet solace it provided. The air was thick with history, and every whispered secret felt alive. As he walked through the towering shelves, he admired the intricate designs of holographic data crystals stored in transparent cases. The soft hum of the AI system surrounded him, providing an ever-present backdrop of information flowing seamlessly through the vast network of knowledge. "Hey, Jackson," a cheery voice interrupted his reverie. It was Emily, his colleague and friend, zipping past him with a stack of data pads. "Hey, Emily," he replied, offering a half-smile. "What's got you racing today?" She spun around, her hazel eyes sparkling with excitement. "I'm trying to finish the Turan artifacts review before the board meeting. But it's like navigating a maze." She gestured animatedly, causing the data pads to wobble. Jackson chuckled. "You could always request my expert help, you know? As your friendly archivist, I thrive in chaos." "Ha! That's a tempting offer, but I can manage. Just trying to keep the peace before they start asking me about the missing files again. You know how rigid they can be." "I've heard stories," he said, shaking his head. "Nothing scary here, right?" He gestured to the towering shelves, many dusty with age. "Fingers crossed," Emily offered, a wink in her tone, before she dashed off deeper into the archives. Once alone, Jackson returned to his task, meticulously categorizing the pre-contact archives, a section filled with the remnants of human history prior to first contact with alien civilizations. Each artifact revealed a piece of humanity's journey through time. As he shuffled through holographic pages, he stumbled upon something unusual. A secured door embedded within the archives, nearly hidden behind a collection of ancient texts. The door's interface flickered with symbols he couldn't decipher. Intrigued, he stepped closer. "Access denied," a synthetic voice intoned, the interface illuminating to life. "Great," he muttered, his curiosity bubbling. But something deep within him urged him to find a way in. Turning to his portable analyzer, he began scanning the doorway, searching for weaknesses in the security protocols. "Come on, just let me in," he whispered, half talking to the door, half to himself. After a few moments, the analyzer emitted a beep. His heart raced in sync with the rhythm of his thoughts. "Should I really be doing this?" he mused. "It's not like there's a sign screaming, 'Do not enter,' or anything." Just as he was about to push for a deeper inquiry, his device triggered an override. The door slid open, revealing a dimly lit room filled with stunning holographic projections and artifacts he had never seen, remnants from an extinct civilization known as the Tallarans. "Whoa," he breathed, stepping in. An array of color and movement danced around him, showcasing artistry unlike anything he had ever witnessed. It was as though he'd stumbled into an ancient gallery. Suddenly, the holographic systems activated, swirling into life. Jackson's eyes widened as he realized he was not alone. "Welcome," a soft voice resonated from the light, taking a humanoid form. The outline sharpened until a figure took shape, an alien female with flowing, luminescent skin. Her eyes held a mesmerizing depth, swirling like galaxies. Who are you?" Jackson stammered, taken by surprise. "I am Lyra, a consciousness archive of the Tallarans," she intoned warmly. "And you are an explorer, aren't you?" Yes. "I'm Jackson Ward," he replied, swallowing his awe. "I didn't mean to intrude. I was just curious." "Curiosity is often the first step toward understanding," Lyra replied, a hint of a smile dancing on her ethereal features. "Why have you sought the wisdom of the Tallarans?" Jackson hesitated, then decided to take a leap. "I'm fascinated by the stories of civilizations. We often overlook the things that make us, well, us. Much of humanity's past isn't pretty. I thought maybe there was something to learn from your culture." Lyra's eyes flickered with intrigue. "Then you understand the value in each story, even though shrouded in regret?" "Absolutely," he said earnestly. "Every story has something worthwhile to offer. Even the painful ones teach us." "In that case," Lyra mused, "may I share a tale of forbidden connections? A story of love amidst uncertainty." "Please," Jackson urged, feeling an inexplicable connection to this alien being standing before him. "I'd be honored." "As you wish," Lyra said, her voice softening. "In my time, the Tallarans held different views on love and connection across species lines. It was regarded with disdain even as powerful bonds were formed. The risks were immense, yet many would not be swayed." Jackson felt a pang of familiarity in her words, recognizing echoes of the discrimination faced in his society. What happened to them, he asked. They were celebrated in secret, hidden away from the watchful eyes of society, she explained. But the tales live on, whispered among those who dare dream. With every word, Jackson found himself drawn closer, entranced by both the story and the being sharing it. He sensed a bond forming, transcending the barriers of species. Can you share one story, just one? He asked softly. As you wish, Lyra's a warmth enveloped him, and before he realized it, they were inches apart, their breathing mingling in the charged air. The weight of their respective worlds dissolved. What if we are more alike than we think? He whispered, captivated. Lyra's glowing eyes sparkled with understanding. Perhaps, Jackson? Perhaps. Lost in this space between worlds, Jackson found himself hoping for something more than just the shared story. A mutual unspoken acknowledgement settled between them as the room glimmered with the endless potential of their connection. Beneath the towering shelves of history, in a hidden enclave of knowledge, the beginning of something unimaginable began to blossom. As they exchanged glances, the future loomed ahead, tantalizingly uncertain. Jackson had stepped into the archives seeking knowledge, but found something far more profound, an unexpected kinship in a world built for countless civilizations. Everything changed in that moment, and the adventure was only just beginning. Chapter 2: Enigmatic Encounters. Jackson felt a rush of exhilaration as he ventured back into the hidden enclave of Talaran artifacts. The door slid open with a smooth, inviting hum, and there she was, waiting for him, the ethereal Lyra, her luminescent skin shimmering softly in the dim light. "Welcome back," she said, her voice a soothing melody that wrapped around him. "I didn't expect you so soon." "I couldn't wait," Jackson replied, feeling exhilaration and nervousness intertwine. "Your story lingered in my mind. I've never heard anything like it. It resonated with me in a way I didn't think possible." Lyra tilted her head, her swirling eyes holding his gaze. "You are curious about stories that stretch beyond your people, yet you seek truths within yourself?" "I think so," he said, taking a tentative step closer. "I've always believed that understanding others helps illuminate who we are." "Is that what you meant about the Talarans?" "Precisely. Each connection tells us more about our own nature. Isn't it fascinating how even cultures apart can feel the same emotions?" She gestured toward a series of holographic displays showcasing intricate artwork depicting Talaran life. "Here, let me show you more." Jackson leaned in, drawn to the vivid colors and intricate designs. "These are stunning. I can see there's a depth of emotion in each piece. But why were they hidden?" "Fear of prejudice. Just as you mentioned before, many shared love across boundaries, but such unions weren't acknowledged openly," Lyra explained, her expression growing solemn. "Society would rather forget than embrace the complexity of these feelings." "Sounds familiar," Jackson muttered, thinking of societal norms on Earth. "But these stories deserve to be heard. They can teach us." "Exactly," Lyra agreed, her enthusiasm reigniting. "You could help share my people's stories, Jackson. To show that love can bridge gaps, to inspire acceptance. I'd be honored. But how do we even begin?" Jackson asked, excitement tinging his voice. "These artifacts are far more than just stories, they're legacies." Lyra moved closer to him, a spark of energy crackling in the air. "Let's recreate some of these moments. We can record them and share them with your people through artifacts, through storytelling." "How do you propose we do that?" he asked, intrigued. "Each moment is a dance of memory, a moment worth living and revisiting," Lyra said, her eyes bright. "We can act them out. Experience them. Act them out." Jackson blinked, disbelief coloring his tone. "You mean perform?" "Yes. Create a narrative that captures the essence of each piece. We can start with the simplest moments," she suggested, moving to a holographic display of two Talarans enraptured in conversation. "You want me to pretend to be a Talaran?" He laughed, the idea growing more ridiculous by the second. "Why not? You're an actor in your own story. Step outside the confines of what you know. Embrace the Talaran experience. It will bring the stories alive." He took a breath, feeling a mix of amusement and warmth at the thought of acting out emotions with her. "Okay, let's give it a shot." "Great." Lyra clapped her hands together, her enthusiasm contagious. "Let's sketch out the setting first. This scene takes place in a lush Talaran garden filled with bioluminescent flora. Imagine the scents, the colors, the atmosphere." Jackson closed his eyes, picturing the garden. "Can you describe it to me? I want to visualize it." Picture the gentle rustling of leaves with a soft breeze, the glowing plants illuminating everything around us. Flowers bloom in hues of blue and violet, their scents mingling like melodies in the air. The sky above is a swirl of color, just before dusk, where time feels ethereal. Lyra painted the scene beautifully. He nodded, trying to absorb every detail. "Okay. And what happens next? The lovers share a moment of vulnerability, a hesitation before confessing their feelings. Lyra guided, her voice deepening with emotion. They take a step closer, their hearts racing as they decide to embrace their truth. Jackson took a deep breath, channeling the gravity of the moment. Like this, he stepped forward, his emotions threading together what he had imagined. His voice softer. I've been drawn to you in ways I can't explain. Exactly. Lyra's expression brightened, encouraging him. Now I respond. He watched as she stepped forward, exuding grace. And I have been waiting for you to find the courage to step into the light, she replied, her voice flowing like water, calm yet profound. Jackson felt his heart race as they enacted the scene, their chemistry undeniable. I'm glad you're here. It feels right being with you. Good, Lyra said, eyes sparkling. Now let's see what happens next. They dove deeper into the scene, losing track of time as they expressed a myriad of emotions. Jackson felt liberated as he explored vulnerability, joy, and connection, all while realizing how effortlessly Lyra seemed to embody the Talaran spirit. After some time, Jackson caught his breath, exhilarated. That was incredible. It was. You felt the energy shift, didn't you? Lyra grinned, reaching out to touch his arm gently. That's what storytelling is all about. It changes hearts. Imagine if we could do this with more stories, he said, his excitement bubbling. What if we could engage others in this way? It starts with you, Lyra replied just above a whisper. You'll be our bridge. Me? A bridge? Jackson chuckled. Yes, you bring your experiences and emotions, and I will share the histories of my people. That spark will resonate with others. That's the beauty of connection, she said, her sincerity radiating warmth. Jackson felt a rush of determination stir within him. We have to get this right then. We need to engage, capture these stories. Yes, Lyra exclaimed, her enthusiasm contagious. We can blend art, emotion, and truth. Together. Emotion, stories, and us. This could change so much, Jackson said, locking eyes with her. The energy hummed between them, carrying the weight of their shared mission. Let's not just change the narrative about the Talarans, let's change the way people think about love, connection, and understanding, Lyra mused. I'm in, Jackson declared, heart racing. Let's make this happen. Together, they began sketching out more narratives, allowing their imaginations to run wild. As they spoke and created, Jackson felt boundaries dissolving, connecting deeply with Lyra, not just as an archivist, but as someone who shared a significant mission. In that hidden room of the archives, amidst ancient artifacts and fleeting memories, Jackson realized that his life would never be the same. They were about to embark on a voyage that could redefine their worlds together. Chapter 3: The Unraveling of Secrets. Jackson entered the hidden enclave of the archives with a renewed sense of purpose. Lyra was already there, examining a holographic display filled with vibrant images of Talaran gardens, lush and alive with bioluminescent flowers. Morning, Lyra, Jackson said, a bright smile breaking across his face. The excitement of their project was buzzing in his veins. What do we tackle today? Good morning. I've been thinking we should explore the significance of familial bonds in Talaran society, she replied, gesturing towards the holograph. The way families are formed, their struggles, and the love that transcends those struggles. Sounds intense, Jackson replied, taking a moment to absorb the sparkling visuals. But it's vital. If we want to understand interspecies relationships within their own cultures are equally important. Exactly. Lyra grinned, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Let's create a narrative around a family that faces societal disapproval but remains united through their love. I love this idea, Jackson said. Shall we start with character sketches? Give them depth? Absolutely, Lyra said, sitting cross-legged in front of the shimmering projections. Let's call the parents Kale and Isla. They love each other deeply, but they come from entirely different backgrounds. Perfect. And what's their conflict? Jackson asked as he joined her on the floor. They want to have a family, but society frowns upon their union, she explained, fingers dancing through the holographic details. Kale's family is well respected, while Isla's is seen as lesser due to her unorthodox past. Sounds like they have to choose between love and acceptance, Jackson reflected, keenly aware of the parallels that could be drawn back to Earth. Exactly. Let's imagine a scene where they stand up to their families. Lyra suggested, her excitement palpable. Cale decides to confront his family for Isla's sake. I can see it already, Jackson said, leaning closer, feeding off her energy. Let's start with Cale. I can take that role. Then I'll be Isla, Lyra declared, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. Shall we set the scene in Cale's home? Let's do it, Jackson replied, his heart racing. How would Cale begin the conversation? Lyra took a moment to compose herself, visibly stepping into the character. He takes a deep breath, thinking about all the moments he's shared with Isla before addressing his family. I love Isla, he would say, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. And nothing can change that. Jackson nodded, feeling a flicker of an emotional bond forming between the characters. Then his family, shocked, would respond. You know what she is, Cale. She is not worthy of our name. Lyra's eyes darkened as she adopted Isla's perspective. But Isla would respond with strength. I am worthy of love as much as anyone else. Wow. I love her strength, Jackson said, inspired. It gives a powerful contrast to Cale's initial hesitation. Exactly, Lyra said eagerly. Now let's see how Cale reacts. Perhaps he raises his voice, showing frustration. How can you think that way? Love knows no boundaries. Jackson felt the heat of the scene intensifying as they played their parts. He channeled Cale's emotions, feeling the tension rise in the room. Cale is pleading for understanding. This love is real. It's not something to be dismissed. That's the spirit. Lyra responded, her eyes unwavering as she maintained Isla's fierce demeanor. And Isla would then challenge Cale's parents, demanding, what is love if it cannot stand against societal norms? That's strong, Jackson replied, feeling the weight of their words. Cale's family should eventually realize that love isn't meant to be confined by rules. We can build a bridge. Let us introduce you to Isla, he might say. Then the families meet, Lyra continued, her expression shifting. Maybe Isla stands tall, revealing her heart. I come with no malice, only love. I am proud of who I am, regardless of your opinions. This is building beautifully, Jackson exclaimed, feeling energized. But what happens next? Do Cale and Isla's families accept them? As in all great tales, Lyra said thoughtfully, there should be resistance. Perhaps Cale's family expresses doubt but can't fully reject their son's happiness. Progress takes time. True, Jackson said, now deeply invested in the characters. So how do we wrap it up? With a glimmer of hope but still grounded in reality? How about this? Lyra suggested. Cale tells Isla that, even if there are still challenges, their love can overcome these divides. We'll find a way together, he says, reaffirming his commitment. Jackson nodded, feeling the weight of their discussion resonating. And then Isla can respond, together we shall build our own family, free from judgment. They sat for a moment, both lost in thought as the implications of their narrative settled in. Jackson finally broke the silence. This is more than just acting, it's enlightening. People need to hear these voices. Yes, Lyra said, eyes sparkling with conviction. It's about creating empathy through storytelling, and you are enhancing that understanding beautifully. You know, I never thought I'd be doing this, Jackson admitted, feeling vulnerable but excited. Embodying a Talaran story seemed absurd at first, but now I feel more connected to this world, your world. Every character you portray becomes a part of you, Jackson, Lyra encouraged. You're not just playing roles, you're unraveling stories hidden beneath layers of history. I guess that's true, he replied, contemplative. It's moving, especially given the nuances of love. What we're doing can touch people in ways they haven't considered before. Let's go deeper then, Lyra suggested. What if, within this family dynamic, we explore the concept of acceptance? We can show how love ultimately prevails. Definitely, Jackson replied, enthusiasm surging once more. Daring where the couple has to defend their love in front of their peers. I love it. That adds another level of tension and complexity, Jackson said, his eyes lighting up. How does the community react? They're conflicted, Lyra articulated. Some cheer for Cale and Isla, while others jeer, questioning their decision. The courage it takes to stand united amidst adversity is a powerful theme. Let's write this scene, Jackson suggested excitedly. This can encapsulate so much about acceptance, love, and the road ahead. As they sketched the next scene, Jackson felt invigorated. Together, they were weaving a rich tapestry of narratives and emotions, one that bridged worlds through love, a human and a Talaran collaborating in a seemingly endless pursuit of truth. Their laughter and passion filled the room, dissolving barriers and building connections, one narrative at a time. Jackson realized that as they brought these stories to life, they would not only transform how they viewed each other but also how their respective societies perceived love and acceptance. In that hidden enclave of the archives surrounded by ancient knowledge, the alliance between Jackson and Lyra blossomed into something far greater than a mere project. The tapestry of stories they were creating would ripple through time, changing their destinies and the destinies of countless others. Chapter 4: The Edge of Forbidden. With their project taking shape, Jackson found himself drawn to the archives more frequently than ever. Each visit turned into a blend of progress and excitement, with Lyra's infectious passion illuminating even the darkest corners of the vast facility. "Jackson, over here," Lyra called as he entered the once-hidden enclave. She stood surrounded by holographic imagery displaying vibrant scenes of Talaran life. "Look at these new pieces I uncovered." Jackson stepped closer, mesmerized by the swirling colors and intricate designs. "These are incredible," he exclaimed. "Where did you find them?" "They were buried in a storage module, unmarked. I felt they held stories worth telling," Lyra explained, eyes sparkling. "Just look at the emotional depth captured here. They can add so much to our narrative." This one, Jackson pointed to a holographic image of a couple embracing beneath a radiant sky. "It encapsulates love amid adversity perfectly." "I thought so too. It can serve as a pivotal moment in the story," Lyra said, her excitement palpable. "Perhaps it's the point where Kale and Isla decide to confront the community together. Right? They can showcase their love in front of everyone, making a statement," Jackson suggested, his enthusiasm bubbling. "They'll need courage for that," Lyra reminded him, her tone shifting slightly. "What if we build up to this moment? Create tension in their lives leading up to it?" Jackson nodded. "Definitely. We should explore the community's initial reaction. Perhaps they are hesitant or outright hostile." "Exactly," Lyra replied eagerly. "Let's craft a scene where Kale prepares to address his friends and family, highlighting his struggle. Okay, so he's standing before them, heart racing, knowing what's at stake. He might say, 'I stand before you not just as your friend but as someone who wishes to love freely,'" Jackson imagined out loud, already feeling Kale's adrenaline. And Isla could be beside him, encouraging him with her presence. She'd say something like, "Love knows no constraints, and we presence love that thrives between us, regardless of tradition," Lyra chimed in, her voice rich with emotion. "I love that," Jackson replied, feeling the weight of their words. "But what if someone from the crowd challenges them?" "Good idea. Perhaps one of Kale's closest friends, someone deeply rooted in society's expectations, steps forward," Lyra said, contemplating. "They could argue, 'You're throwing away your future for this. How can you expect us to support this union?'" Jackson shrugged slightly, feeling a spark of creativity. "Then Kale can respond with anger mixed with vulnerability. Something like, 'I'm not throwing anything away. I'm choosing a future characterized by love.' And Isla could say, 'If you cannot accept us, perhaps you need to reevaluate your understanding of love.'" Lyra added, her expression fierce. "That sets up an intense connection," Jackson said, nodding enthusiastically. "It's raw, powerful. The perfect line to bridge the immediate conflict. And then, to heighten the tension, we could end that scene on a cliffhanger," Lyra suggested thoughtfully. "What if, after their confrontation, Kale's family arrives, adding another layer of emotional pressure?" "Yes. They'll confront Kale, forcing him to face the weight of their expectations. Something like, 'You cannot go through with this,'" Jackson said, feeling invigorated. "Perfect. And Isla, standing by Kale's side, could say defiantly, 'Either accept us or lose him,'" Lyra elaborated. "It would be a powerful stance, showcasing her commitment." As they completed the outlines of the scenes, Jackson felt a mixture of anticipation and apprehension. "But Lyra, are we ready for what's coming next?" "What do you mean?" she asked, picking up on his faltering energy. "This story touches on deep-rooted prejudices. It might stir feelings that people aren't ready to confront. How do we ensure our message gets across without igniting more hostility?" Jackson voiced his concern as he paced the small enclave. Lyra regarded him thoughtfully. "The beauty of storytelling is its power to provoke reflection. If we stay true to authentic emotions, the audience will sense the honesty in our work. They must see both sides of the conflict." "But there are risks involved," Jackson replied, his anxiety bubbling. "People could see this as a challenge to their beliefs." "I understand," Lyra said gently, "but isn't that the purpose? To challenge societal norms and encourage open dialogue about love?" Jackson sighed, his shoulders drooping slightly. I know. It's just. I worry. Worry can be a beacon of creativity if you let it guide you, Lyra said, smiling gently. Fear exists in every profound story, it's how we confront it that matters. He looked at her, contemplation etched across his face. How do you always manage to see the bright side? It's a Talaran trait, Lyra joked lightly, her mood buoying. But that doesn't mean I don't feel fear. I want this story to reach hearts, not just provoke anger. They shared a moment of understanding as silence enveloped them, contemplating both their ambitions and concerns. Finally, Jackson spoke, let's keep moving forward. If we're aligned in intent, we can manage the outcomes together. Lyra smiled brightly. Exactly. Together, we can create something that resonates. Not just for us, but for everyone. Encouraged, Jackson felt invigorated. Let's dive into the community reaction next. We can build urgency and tension that leads to the big moment when Kale and Isla finally stand united. Yes, Lyra cheered, placing her hands together. Imagine the emotions swirling around them, the vulnerability and strength they'll need to show. With that, they began piecing their narrative, infusing it with the duality of hope and fear. Each dialogue crafted resonated with real emotions, bringing Kale and Isla's story to life. As they worked, Jackson couldn't shake the growing tension building inside him. With each scene they wrote, he recognized not only the potential impact but also the fragility of their journey. Just think about the possibilities, Lyra suggested, noticing his turmoil. How many people are silently living their truths? They'll find comfort in understanding that they are not alone. That's what keeps me going, Jackson admitted, his worries quelled by her words. After hours of thrilling intellectual engagement, they finally settled on a script that would become their very first performance. They were ready to bring Kale and Isla to life, showcasing a journey that mirrored their struggles and aspirations in unpredictable ways. Tomorrow, we'll present it, Jackson said, feeling a thrill course through him. To ourselves at first. But after that, I think we should gather some close friends to witness it. Perhaps you can invite some Talarans. Great idea. Lyra beamed. It will give a sense of authenticity and help us refine our performance. And this is our launch, the moment we truly share their story, Jackson added, feeling the gravity of what lay ahead. Indeed, and we're doing it together, Lyra said, her eyes sparkling with determination. With every word, we challenge perceptions, and you're an essential part of this journey. Jackson felt hope sparkling in the corners of his heart, igniting a fire within. Together, they stood on the precipice of unveiling a world of emotions, determined to create a narrative that resonated. You ready to take that leap? Lyra asked, her gaze steady on him. Absolutely, he replied, excitement coursing through him. Let's show everyone what love can truly be. As they closed the day's work and prepared for what awaited them, Jackson couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the edge of something monumental, a story waiting to be told, a bridge waiting to be built. Together, they would step boldly into the unknown and change everything. Chapter 5, Love Beyond Borders. The next day, Jackson stood anxiously in the hidden enclave of the archives, which had become both a creative studio and a sanctuary for him and Lyra. The air crackled with excitement and nerves as they prepared for their first performance. Are you ready, Jackson? Lyra's voice cut through his thoughts as she adjusted her bioluminescent tunic, the soft glow reflecting her anticipation. Jackson took a deep breath, running a hand through his hair. As ready as I'll ever be. But what if they don't get it? What if we create more conflict than understanding? Focus on what we've crafted, Lyra urged, stepping closer. This is about connection, storytelling, and challenging the status quo. You believe in it, don't you? Of course, he replied, swallowing hard. I just hope it resonates with them like it has with us. Lyra smiled softly, placing her hand on his arm. It will. Our friends are here to support us, not judge us. Right? Let's do this, Jackson said, feeling a surge of determination course through him. Just then, the metallic door slid open, revealing Ben and Emily, their close friends, who looked curious and excited. Hey, you too. Ready for the big show? Ben asked, a grin spreading across his face. Think of this as an exclusive preview, Emily chimed in, eyeing the holographic displays with fascination. What are you two up to? Jackson exchanged a glance with Lyra, who nodded for him to take the lead. Well, we've been working on a story, a multi-species love story showcasing the struggles of acceptance in a divided society. That sounds cool, Ben said. Tell me more. Okay, so it's about a Talaran named Kale and a human named Isla, Lyra explained, stepping into her role as storyteller. They face societal disapproval but decide to stand united against prejudice. Emily gazed at Lyra, her eyes wide. That sounds powerful. What happens next? Today, we're going to act out some key scenes from their journey, Jackson continued, trying to mask his anxiety with enthusiasm. We want to portray the heart, the struggle, and ultimately the resolution of their love story. Great. I love it. Ben added, shifting eagerly. So what's the first scene? Lyra glanced at Jackson, who nodded. The opening scene will set the stage. Kale and Isla are preparing to confront their families and friends about their love. As they began to set the atmosphere, Lyra and Jackson stepped into place, transforming the enclave into a makeshift performance space. The holographs flickered to life, casting a warm glow around them. Jackson took a deep breath and adopted his character's posture. I can't believe we're doing this, he said, channeling Kale's nervous excitement. Are you ready, Isla? Yes, Kale, Lyra replied, her voice resonating with determination. We have to show them who we really are. Ben and Emily watched intently, leaning closer as Jackson and Lyra began to act out the tension within the scene. Everyone will be expecting you to conform, Jackson continued, letting the weight of Kale's struggles shape his words. But I refuse to hide our love. Lyra shifted slightly, allowing the luminosity of her character to shine through. It's not about hiding. It's about standing together. We will face them, not as individuals, but as a unit. As the scene unfolded, Lyra moved with grace, transforming into Isla, embodying the depth of her character. You know they may not accept us, she declared, her voice steady. But we must show them that love knows no borders. Jackson flowed into the next line smoothly. And if they choose to turn away from us, then that is their loss. He saw Emily's eyes glistening with understanding and felt buoyed. Wow, Ben whispered, glancing at Emily. This is intense. Just wait for the next part, Emily replied, enthralled. This is really powerful. Jackson locked eyes with Lyra, feeling the synergy between them deepen as they transitioned into the next scene. The holograph of the familial confrontation flared to life in the background, setting the mood. In the new scene, Jackson walked towards the imaginary center stage. I stand before you, my family, not just as your son but as a man in love, he proclaimed, his voice strong. Isla stands beside me, not as an adversary but as my equal. He glanced at Lyra, seeing her nod encouragingly. A love like ours does not diminish who we are, it only amplifies it, Lyra added, firm in her portrayal. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted as Ben, who had volunteered to play a skeptical family member, stepped in. Kale, this is madness. You can't expect us to support this union. You're throwing away your future. Jackson felt adrenaline surge through him. This is not throwing away anything. I choose a future built on love, not societal expectations. Emily jumped in, taking on the role of Kale's mother. How can you think this is right? You're aligning your future with someone others deem unacceptable. You'll ruin your reputation. As the performance escalated, emotions in the room grew palpable. Jackson and Lyra confronted Ben and Emily, driving the tension higher until Lyra, as Isla, stepped resolutely. Love should not threaten your reputation. It is the very essence of our humanity. The room was silent for a moment. Then Lyra continued, if we cannot embrace love, what do we have? In that stillness, Jackson glanced at Ben and Emily, hoping to gauge their reactions. He saw them deeply focused, their expressions a mix of concern and admiration. That felt real, Ben said finally, breaking the silence. You both embodied the characters perfectly. Emily nodded in agreement. It was so intense. The dynamics, the struggles, wow. I didn't realize how much depth there was in that conversation. Jackson felt a rush of warmth at the validation. Thank you. We've poured everything into this. We want to show that every love deserves to be acknowledged, irrespective of societal norms. You definitely did that, Ben replied, his voice earnest. I could feel the weight of their struggle. It opened my eyes. It's about pushing boundaries and questioning what we've been taught, Lyra added, her enthusiasm bubbling over. Love can transcend those barriers if we allow it. Absolutely. It's more relevant now than ever, Emily said. This story needs to go beyond just us. It should be shared widely. With the right audience, I think it can, Jackson agreed. We want people to resonate with the characters, to see reflections of their own lives in Kale and Isla. Lyra's eyes sparkled. Perhaps we could organize a larger performance? Something more public to share our narrative? Great idea. Ben chimed in. I can help with the logistics. Let's get others involved. The more voices, the better. I can reach out to other Tallarans, Lyra suggested. Their perspective will add authenticity and depth to our story. Jackson felt a wave of excitement. The idea of taking their passion project to a larger audience stirred something profound within him. Let's do it. This story is meant for more than just us. As they discussed details, everything seemed to light up around them, holograms swirling, emotions soaring. Jackson realized that they were standing on the cusp of something transformative, not just for themselves but for anyone who would hear Kale and Isla's story. I can get the word out, set up a space where we can perform, Emily said, enthusiasm coursing through her. Let's rally everyone we know. Please, let's keep momentum going. This could change perspectives, teach kindness, Lyra encouraged. Jackson grinned, a wave of warmth flooding him. Together, we'll create something extraordinary. A bridge of understanding through the power of storytelling. As they made plans, Jackson felt elated. They were embarking on a journey that would not only challenge preconceived notions but might even bring a community together. Their story, layered with realism, compassion, and love, was about to become a conduit for connection beyond worlds, beyond boundaries. Feeling the weight of the tasks ahead, Jackson looked around at his friends, knowing they were embarking on an adventure that could reshape their destinies, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of those willing to listen.